The episode opens in chaos as the aftermath of war leaves bodies scattered across the battlefield, and Claire struggles desperately to save the wounded while knowing she can't save everyone. Jamie stands at a distance, watching the destruction, his face hardened by the realization that the war they once hoped to survive is now consuming everything they love. Tension rises quickly when a shocking betrayal is revealed from within their own ranks, leaving Jamie furious and questioning who he can truly trust. Claire, exhausted but determined, pushes herself beyond her limits as she performs life-saving procedures under impossible conditions, proving once again why she is the heart of survival in the midst of war. Meanwhile, Brianna and Roger face danger of their own as a sudden attack threatens to separate them, forcing Roger to make a split-second decision that could change their future forever. Back on the battlefield, Jamie confronts the traitor in a tense and emotional standoff, where words cut deeper than weapons, and the truth behind the betrayal shakes him to his core. As the episode builds, the emotional weight becomes unbearable when a major character suffers a devastating injury, leaving fans questioning whether they will survive. Claire is faced with an impossible choice: save one life or risk losing many, and her decision will have consequences that ripple far beyond this moment. The war intensifies, and explosions echo through the night as both sides push forward with no sign of surrender, making it clear that this is no longer just a fight for freedom, but a fight for survival. In a powerful moment, Jamie and Claire reunite briefly, sharing a quiet but emotional exchange that reminds viewers of the love that has carried them through time, loss, and war. But peace doesn't last long, as new orders arrive that will send Jamie directly into one of the most dangerous missions of his life. The episode closes on a shocking cliffhanger, as a gunshot rings out in the darkness, and the screen cuts to black before revealing who has been hit, leaving fans stunned and desperate for answers. The gunshot echoes into silence, and for a brief, terrifying moment, time seems to stop as everyone freezes, unsure of who has been hit. Claire's instincts take over immediately as she runs toward the fallen body, her hands already shaking with the fear of what she might. When the camera finally reveals the victim, the shock hits hard. It's someone far closer to Jamie than anyone expected, and the emotional weight of the moment is instant and devastating. Jamie drops to his knees beside them, his voice breaking as he calls their name, a rare moment of vulnerability from a man who has faced countless battles, but is unprepared for this kind of loss. Claire fights to keep the person alive, desperately applying pressure to the wound, but the injury is severe, and every second feels like it could be their last. As chaos erupts again around them, soldiers shout and scramble, but Jamie hears none of it. His entire world has narrowed down to this single moment. Meanwhile, far from the battlefield, Brianna begins to sense that something is terribly wrong, as if history itself is shifting in a way she cannot explain. Roger tries to reassure her, but even he can't ignore the growing tension, especially after discovering a clue that suggests the timeline may not unfold the way they once believed. Back in the present conflict, the traitor's actions begin to reveal a deeper conspiracy. This wasn't just betrayal for survival, but part of a larger plan that could alter the outcome of the entire war. Jamie, now torn between grief and duty, is forced to make a brutal decision: stay and protect his loved ones, or pursue the enemy and prevent further destruction. Claire, still fighting to save the wounded, urges Jamie to go, knowing that the cost of hesitation could be far greater than the pain they're feeling right now. Their goodbye is short, intense, and filled with unspoken fear, the kind that suggests they both know not everyone will survive. What comes next? As Jamie rides into the darkness with his men, the tone shifts into something even more ominous, with the sense that they are heading straight into a trap. And that fear becomes reality when they are ambushed, bullets flying from all directions, forcing Jamie into one of the most dangerous fights of his life. In a gripping sequence, Jamie is separated from his men, injured, and left to rely on pure instinct and determination to survive. At the same time, Claire faces another impossible moment as the injured character's condition worsens, and she realizes that even her knowledge might not be enough to save them this time. Tears stream down her face as she refuses to give up, pushing herself beyond exhaustion, driven by love, guilt, and the relentless need to fight fate itself. Back with Brianna, the mystery deepens when she uncovers something shocking, evidence that one of the people they trust may not be who they claim. This revelation adds a chilling layer to the story, suggesting that danger isn't just on the battlefield, but hidden much closer than anyone realizes. As the episode builds toward its final moments, everything begins to collide: the ambush, the injury, the betrayal, and the shifting timeline all converging into one explosive climax. Jamie, wounded but unbroken, makes one final stand against overwhelming odds, proving once again why he is a legend. And just when it seems like he might survive, the screen cuts between him and Claire, both fighting their own battles, both on the edge of losing everything. The screen fades back in as the echo of the gunshot lingers, and for a split second, no one moves, as if the world itself is holding its breath. Claire turns slowly, her heart racing, afraid to look but unable to stop herself from facing the truth. A figure collapses to the ground, and Jamie's expression instantly changes as he realizes who has been hit. He rushes forward, pushing through the chaos, calling out their name with a desperation that cuts through the noise of battle. Claire drops beside them without hesitation, her hands already searching for the wound, her mind shifting into survival mode despite the fear threatening to overwhelm her. Blood spreads quickly, and the situation becomes critical within seconds, forcing Claire to act faster than ever before. Jamie stays close, refusing to leave, his voice steady but filled with emotion as he tries to keep the injured person conscious. Around them, the battle continues, but it feels distant, like everything else has faded away except this one moment. Claire gives rapid instructions, using whatever tools she can find, turning the chaos around her into a makeshift operating space. The injured character weakly grips Jamie's hand, their strength fading, their eyes filled with something they're struggling to say. Jamie leans closer, listening carefully, and what he hears shakes him deeply, revealing a final truth that changes everything he believed about the betrayal. Claire notices the shift in Jamie's expression, but doesn't have time to ask, as the person's condition suddenly worsens. Their breathing becomes shallow, their pulse fading, and Claire realizes she is running out of time. She makes a risky decision, one that could either save them or lose them forever, and begins a desperate attempt to stop the bleeding. Jamie watches, powerless but refusing to give up hope, his eyes locked on Claire as if she is the only thing standing between life and death. Moments stretch painfully as Claire fights to bring them back, pushing herself to the edge of exhaustion. Then suddenly, a faint sign of life. The smallest movement, the weakest breath, but enough to give hope. Claire doesn't stop, continuing her efforts, determined to pull them back no matter the cost. Jamie exhales for the first time in what feels like forever, but the relief is short-lived as distant gunfire grows louder once again. The enemy is regrouping, and this fight is far from over. Jamie is forced to make another impossible choice: stay and protect the injured, or return to the battlefield where his men are still fighting. Claire looks at him, already knowing what he has to do, and silently nods, giving him the strength to make the decision. Their eyes meet for a brief moment, filled with fear, trust, and everything they cannot say out loud. Jamie stands, grips his weapon, and turns back toward the chaos, ready to face whatever comes next. As he disappears into the smoke and gunfire, Claire remains behind, fighting a quieter but equally dangerous battle to keep the injured alive. The camera slowly pulls back, showing the contrast between war and survival, destruction and hope. And just as it seems like things might stabilize, a new threat begins to emerge, one that suggests this battle was only the beginning of something far worse.